Welcome everyone, Sci-Fighter here. We are here, finally. We've made it to the Vassal League Season 6 Deep Core Championship between Paul Heaver and Ryan Fleming. P. Heaver versus Rinehart as far as the usernames go. And I'm really excited. I think these two lists are actually going to fare off pretty nice against each other. Each has tools to kind of go after the other. So it's gonna depend on some good flying from Paul if he wants to take this home, or some good use of abilities from Rinehart. Joined again by my brother Jeremy. Jeremy, how you doing today?
Doing great, doing real well. Excited to get as you are to see this final match happen. We've been able to go through the semifinals and then make it here all the way to the finals, and so this is going to be just a fantastic match. If you didn't get a chance to see the previous matches, we recorded both of those, so you can check the Twitch stream after this is over if you want to see how these two guys were able to make it to this spot. And so very excited to see what happens, and I like the fact that the final has a little bit of scum in it. We haven't been seeing scum around doing many things as these waves have progressed, and so I like that we're seeing that. And of course, we're getting to see some Imperials with the new ships that have come out from Wave 14. So let's get into it.
All right. Well, first off, we have Paul Heaver, and he is flying some Imperials. We just saw this in his other matches. Both players played these in their semifinal matches, so they've both had the opportunity to kind of maybe look at the game tape, see what's kind of going on with each different build, and see kind of what the game plan might be from their opponent. Paul is running Darth Vader with adaptability, TIE X1 title, and the advanced targeting computer. No engine upgrade and no missile. So Vader's gonna not be hitting with that huge punch at the beginning, and he's not gonna be as maneuverable as we get into things. Quick Draw has expertise, fire control system, special ops training, and lightweight frame. Again, no missile here, and no tech upgrade, no advanced optics, trying to back him up, give him that focus token to hang on to. And expertise, gonna be really susceptible to any stress that might be coming out. And he's rounding it off with the very popular right now TIE Reaper Major Vermeil, also running adaptability on there. Director Krennic on board, the advanced aileron title, courier droid, and lightweight frame. So Vermeil's going to be in here to get some jam off, get Krennic up on, I am going to assume it'll be Darth Vader rather than himself, and he's going to be trying to hit hard with his native mods from his ability. Who we got going for Rinehart with the scum?
Well, and I will just say here for the Imperial side that Paul took these lists and really was able to put in two great aces. He had to sacrifice some tech to do it, but he put in great aces to go with Vermeil. So even though they're a little lighter than we normally see, it'll be interesting to notice how he plays with these ships to use them to their fullest ability. As far as the scum side, we've got 3 ships. We've got Thweek, which is probably going to be the ace here. He's got a bid. He's got a 98-point bid, so I'm expecting that he's going to pass the initiative to Paul so that he can move last with Thweek and be able to reposition, do that crazy cool barrel roll that they get. And we've got Lancer Pursuit Craft with Asajj. So this is where I think things are going to get really interesting, because in the last match Paul didn't go up against any stress control, but he went up against a couple Reapers with that kind of control. So we have the ability with Asajj, if she can position herself correctly, to try to turn off the expertise that we're going to have with Quick Draw there. So I'm curious to see how this works out. And then rounding out the list, list, we have Nadru, who is in a Z95. Don't hate on the Z95, guys, man. This thing in Rinehart's first match, man, he went guns blazing. Took that Z95 straight down the bottom side from right to left, and just obliterated guys with that harpoon missile. So he doesn't mind sacrificing Nadru in getting a good alpha strike in. So I'm curious to see if he goes with that same formula, or if he goes a little bit more tactical in when he's going to hit Nadru. But he's going to get that missile off. He's going to try to really plan that correctly. So excited about this list. I think, as you mentioned, both of these, this isn't a rock paper scissors thing here. I think both these lists have the tools to get the job done today.
That's true. So an interesting tactic with Thweek. Usually Thweek wants to shadow the last pilot skill, the highest one, and try to finish out and go last with this 2-point bid and everything. And you'll notice Darth Vader went up to 10, but Thweek didn't know that at the time, so he went ahead and shadowed Quick Draw, because Vader could have dropped down to 8, and now Thweek is going more towards the middle of the pack. So an interesting choice there. We did see that exact scenario kind of happen in his semifinal match, so I think he kind of
the mind
saw
game's going already.
Yeah, and he called him out on it too in the Vassal room. So he saw it coming and just said, you know what, I'm going to go with the safe bet. We know he's going to be a 9. We'll go with that.
Now we're going to be getting dials going down here, so let's jump to turn 0 real quick. We've got 3 Imperial ships up in the top left corner. We've got Asajj and Thweek over on the right side in the middle, and then again we see Nadru. He's just
he's like, hey, I'm here to joust. I'm just a small fry. If you want to blow me up, that's fine. I'm still going to shoot you before you kill me.
Now, does he do a feint here? Does he kind of bait a little bit and try to get himself in a better position, maybe come downwards towards Asajj and those guys? What are you thinking about that? We've got rocks in the center of the map and a couple in the corners, so there's a lot of empty space on the board that these guys can maneuver around.
Well, I'm going to assume that Nadru's just kind of going to take it slow right up this top edge. He's going to try to let Asajj and Thweek get time to maybe swing around these bottom kind of rocks in the middle here. Thweek might even come up to try to help it early if needed. But in the meantime, I don't know if you want to eat that big harpoon shot, so Vader and his boys might want to turn down map and just face off with Asajj.
And we have a dial coming down. We got Asajj moving
coming out fast,
going quick.
And Vermeil going to meet that harpoon missile head on.
I was curious to see, is Paul going to go straight at that Z95? Maybe try to do the rule of 11 here and get that thing off the board without taking a missile, maybe?
It's hard to play the range game. You don't have a boost. I mean, Vermeil's got the advanced aileron, so it can kind of try to get up to speed in there, but really he's going to want to be maybe doing some barrel rolling, get out of range 1 of all of his allies. But we'll have to see. Something to think about is Vermeil can get up in there and jam if she gets close enough, and that will prevent the target lock coming down from Nadru.
Yeah, Nadru needs to stay away from that jam action. He's got to be at range 3 for this shot. You don't want to be getting in range 2. As long as Vermeil is out of range here before that missile goes off. Because, like you said, otherwise that jam is going to either take the focus or it's going to take the target lock, and either thing is not good for Nadru to get. You don't want max damage with this harpoon. I mean, that's his job, is to be the sacrificial lamb and get as much punishing damage on these ships as possible before his big boys get to finish everything off.
Correct. So Thweek kind of slowed it up, and just I think we're going to see a right-hand bank or turn out of Thweek to try to meet up. Probably try to flank on the sides of those Imperials. And I think some good Vermeil play here might get close enough. It's hard to judge from here, but I'm thinking with a 1 aileron as well as
a 3 straight.
A 3 straight. I don't know if you get close enough to do the jam.
You know, I don't think so either. I almost Man, I almost feel like you kind of slow roll it. I almost feel like you slow roll it here too. You know, just to try and range control, or is he? I mean, look at the position on that rock. Paul could just decide, hey, no thanks. I'm gonna go hard right. We're gonna take these other guys head on. You know, you've got.
Could be, and should still be able to keep enough range to stay.
Remember, this is not your normal Asajj. This is not Time Walk Asajj, so you can take her off the board a lot easier than you know, the Time Walk where you have when you have all those glitter stems. So she's got tricks up her sleeve. Don't count her out. She's got tricks up her sleeve, but it's something that he could be thinking about, to even just say, hey, I'm saying I'm going to go for Nadru, but really I want to go and engage Asajj down low and get that stress control off the board.
And something of note as well is, effective as Krennic has been for a lot of people, there's not a lot of shields on the Scum side. Everybody's pretty low. You're not seeing the big numbers of like 4 and 5 shields. So one volley is going to decimate the shields on any of these Scum ships. So Krennic might not actually come into play too terribly much with his auto damage. Asajj swinging in fast, that 3 bank.
Those things can move in a hurry, and those are greens.
I know, it's crazy how fast these Lancers are. Oh, they've scared me since they came out.
Yeah. And we got from the chat, Racer Boy 108, Ryan all the way. So we got some cheering here for Rinehart. And if you got somebody you're rooting for, feel free to throw that in the chat. We'll give that a shout out as well. Okay.
Yeah,
Vermelia's coming in.
He's gonna be out for the jam, so it's gonna be just about getting the range away from everybody. Don't get caught up and get critted and explode with all your friends nearby.
Yeah, exactly. He's getting some good spacing here, so that whoever ends up taking the harpoon isn't gonna dish it out to his buddies. Now remember, this is something we talk about a lot in our casts because a lot of people don't realize this, but you can actually turn the card over from the harpoon condition. You can use an action to do it, and a lot of people forget this. When you get the harpoon condition, if he hits with this harpoon, you can actually flip the card over with an action. Then you roll a dice. If you roll, I think it's like a hit, right? Hit or crit, and you take a damage. If
but
not,
even so, that's better than your entire squad taking a hit.
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
Liberator also rooting for Ryan. Paul's got to have some fans out there, I'm sure, as a 3-time world champion. A lot of people
definitely.
always behind his corner, but maybe people going for a potential underdog story or something like that. I know Ryan is big in the competition circuit as well.
Don't say underdog, man.
Not necessarily, but as far as titles under the belt, I mean, you've got to give it to Paul on that one. Let's see.
3 world championships is big for sure, but these are both great players, and so
Quick Draw is in range, taking that target lock on Nadru, so we're probably going to see a missile unless Nadru went too fast. Just a forward 3 should be range 2 here. It looks close, but it should be range 2.
I'm thinking 2, yeah.
So Nadru packing that 5 dice
target lock
harpoon.
Target lock, and then we're gonna see a glitter sim pop.
Oh,
right
definitely.
Here.
You need those mods. You want to take down all of Quick Draw's shields in one shot if possible.
Yeah, once Vader and Thweek move.
Yeah, Thweek actually trying to take the long way, which is a bit surprising.
Interesting. Okay.
I thought he was going to kind of cut up the middle of those rocks and try to get up in the side of these guys. Maybe he didn't quite expect them to just go and fight that harpoon head on.
Well, I mean, like we saw in the last match, he's okay with Nadru going off the board as long as he gets that harpoon off, gets some damage in.
Yeah, he's only worried about that harpoon. That's why Nadru's here.
Yep. That's his job, man.
He's a 30-point or
just kamikaze. Here it comes, glitter stem.
24-point harpoon missile. That's all this guy is.
We got the glitter stem popped. Nadru's feeling great right now, by the way. He is feeling real good about this situation.
Might not even die after all this is said and done, depending on how Quick Draw shots go. And
So
just the
who you
crit.
shooting that missile at, by the way?
I think you try to knock out Quick Draw shields right now. I mean,
Okay.
Nadru's your sacrificial lamb. If you can get him
Mhm.
to tank all of Quick Draw's revenge shots, hopefully
Mhm.
being just the one, that's a great way to go. It's also only rolling, a bit less of the dice, and not the mods. Vader's got the focus dice, or the focus token, to back up his
Yep.
three greens. So
All
Vader
right.
swings and misses.
We got
And-
one shield. We got one shield coming.
Well, from Krennic, but
Mhm.
that's all that's going through.
Yeah.
And we end up with everything out of our expertise target lock. From
One
Quick Draw.
shield, one hit. So just a face down damage card there. No extra goodies.
Mhm.
All right, here we go. Missile shot. Let's see what Rinehart calls here. 5-2. 5 versus
Plus-
2.
+1, so it's going to be Quick Draw
Yep.
with the lightweight frame.
Mm-hmm.
But 3 dice and no focus is a bit scary for Quick Draw.
Yeah, you got target lock focus coming from the
Oh,
harpoon, and he
he doesn't
it.
need it.
Oh my goodness,
Doesn't
he
need any
natties it.
rerolls,
Wow.
or the glitter stem for that matter.
You can't count on that though. You gotta.
Oh
have
no,
those
no,
rerolls
I
ready,
definitely
but-
think it was the right idea to glitter.
Oh man. Okay, let's see
But,
what happens here.
All those shields are down for the count.
We got 2 eyeballs and a blank here.
But those eyeballs not doing anything.
Yeah, Reinhardt
That
calling
hurts.
that's a win. He says that's a win right there.
I mean,
Reinhardt calling it.
Yeah, Quick Draw, and now Quick Draw also has the
Second
harpoon
shot.
condition, so you don't even want to take the action that might clear, or is going to clear the condition, but might kill Quick Draw. You can't even do that. So now Quick
don't
Draw is a
think you
bit of a
can.
time bomb.
Yep.
Quick Draw shooting back.
Yeah, he gets his shot back at Nadru, so this should
Mhm.
kill Nadru, but he's got no mods. Nadru does have the automatic focus with glitter stem.
Loose
Man, we got
stabilizer,
loose stabilizer. Yep.
and a major explosion coming out as well.
Okay. He's got to clear that. Oh, he is gone.
It's cleared. Don't worry about that part. It will not be a problem. And Saj actually has a range 3 shot on Vermeil here.
Yep. Wow, this is really setting up to be a crazy first engagement.
So the benefit for Paul here is that Quick Draw is still alive, but severely hampered. You really need to be careful with your engagement here when you bring Quick Draw in. I think Quick Draw needs to break off and try to just flank
Yep.
around. You don't want to take any shots, especially when you're next to your allies.
What's your next move if you're Paul here? You got Vermeil kind of set up to go through the rocks. Do you just take them all and go straight to the side?
You
kinda
very
come
well
down?
may. They don't have a way to really catch up to you right away. Thweek maybe, because Thweek can do some crazy things with the bear rolls and such. So Vermeil might take a shot from Thweek, but other than that, I think you need to get out of there, regroup, and figure out a plan of attack to bring Vermeil and Vader in. Do as much as you can while Quick Draw tries to get around the side and dodge some of these arcs, which can be done. We have some arc ships here. Even Asajj, with the mobile arc, is still only able to shoot out of 2 sides and not a 360 turret like a Falcon or Decimator.
Yeah, if you can make some targets where they have to choose that mobile arc and where it's going to go. But if he can keep flying Asajj like this and just keep cruising around those rocks, you don't have to do anything with that mobile arc. You just keep getting all your tokens.
I would agree. So, I mean, Drew definitely did its job. 24 points to take down Quick Draw. I mean, essentially,
Almost
he's
all the
out
way,
of the
yeah.
fight because you can't just risk Quick Draw going off in formation.
Now,
So
one thing we've seen in the past, though, as by the way, as we had one more shield go down on Vermeil there, shield went through, is that a ship with one hull
still hits just as hard.
Still dangerous, so you gotta be careful about it. You can't just write it off. That
the
that's
positives
good,
for
so.
Quick Draw, other than being alive, no criticals went through, so he's not having his weapon dice subtracted. He's not having any movement hamperings from some weird crit. Not blinded, so options are open, but I think he needs to separate. and try to come around behind or from the side.
Mm-hmm.
Dials are down for both players, and we will see what happens. We're only in round 3, and blood is just spilled all over this map at the top.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, down and dirty real quick. And it's interesting too, because when we watched that semifinal with Paul, kind of the same thing happened. It was a quick bloody mess, and it was over real quick. So this game has the potential to go a long ways. That we'll see how
Vader
this response
doesn't quite
happens.
have as much maneuverability without the engine upgrade, but still a slippery ship. Not quite as much as Thweek, but with the auto crit coming in, things like that can definitely be scary. And Krennic on board, you just can't count Vader out just because he can't boost around.
I like going to the chat here. I like the Liberator 117. He says, "Good thing Nadru is dead. Now he doesn't have to set the dial."
There's some truth to that, because when you do have a sacrificial ship and it's done its job, and now it's still hanging around, you're like, okay, well, I mean, I've got it, so what do I do with it? I didn't intend for it to still be here.
That long.
So sometimes that does kind of take a load off, and now you can just think about Asajj and Thweek, because Thweek does need some thought about where he's going to end up and what you want to do with that funky barrel roll.
Yeah, I'm interested. We got Asajj, man, really coming fast.
Oh,
She's probably going to keep shots on somebody here. Probably Vermeil, depending on what
tear
Paul
out
does.
fast enough, they should get out of range.
You do have the ailerons engaged. There's no no stress on the ship.
Not until and Asajj can't dish it out until combat begins.
That's right.
So we will see where everybody ends up. Forward one
the aileron.
And a sloop, actually.
Interesting. Okay.
So
don't count that sloop out. Do you want to talk a little bit about that? We noticed a lot of that last game here for newer players that maybe haven't seen this ship in action yet, or maybe just people that have played the game but haven't seen the Reaper going. What does that sloop do for you?
That sloop allows you to stay in the fight. Unlike the Lambda shuttle, which the Reaper's kind of taken over for as in the remainder of First Edition, the Lambda will probably see a resurgence when we get into Second, but it allows you to stay in the fight, kind of knife things up a bit, stay where you're relevant instead of just relying on hard turns. You don't have a boost or anything like that, so it definitely helps you stay in the fight, keep up with Vader. I kind of think we're going to see probably a K-turn from Vader, and they'll just kind of take these shots as they come for this round just to let Quick Draw escape. Quick Draw did go 4 straight.
Take a look at Thweek's fancy barrel roll here.
Right through the rocks. That's why you can never really pin Thweek down. A lot like Echo in that way. I really kind of like the Star Viper. It's just Scum came out when I'd already kind of invested a lot into Imperial ships, so I haven't been able to really play around with Scum too much. But once that came out, I was like, maybe there's something there for me.
Yeah.
But my wallet said no, so there we are.
Yep.
So we have a stress Vader, so no actions, no advanced targeting computer from the not having a target lock, but no shots.
It's interesting that Quick Draw went straight and the other two ended up doing a K-turn or a sloop. So maybe he's just thinking about keeping Quick Draw out of the fight for a second.
I think so. I think he's trying to just kind of give him a buffer and just try to repel while Quick Draw gets around. Probably gonna... I kind of expect Quick Draw to take the long way around, come down through these rocks. Not sure exactly when we'll see Quick Draw cut in, but gonna bring everybody else kind of just around the top and keep them at bay, away from Quick Draw. Now that being said, Thweek could go after Quick Draw anyway. Gonna have the knowledge of where Quick Draw is and can try to just go finish it off.
That's probably what I would think to do. But you know, if you have a ship that's out of the fight for a while, it can really give you two big guns on the other two ships. Try to whittle those things down. So I could see Rinehart maybe going with that plan as well. But Thweek, I mean, right now I'm always surprised where that guy is going to be. So I'm excited to see what happens here. Now we also have ailerons turned off because of that sloop. There's no pre-boost action happening next, so he's going to just be relying on some form of green. Probably going to be a one bank to clear that stress, is my thought.
Yeah, it's got to be something to clear that
Vermeil.
out. You're
He needs to be able to jam.
Oh yeah, that jam is going to be huge. Trying to make sure Asajj doesn't get a punch too hard, or Thweek it'd be too defensive. Having that jam is going to be probably what turns the tide here a little bit. Krennic's only so good until the shields are gone, and now what do you do with it? So we'll have to see kind of what happens. 3 hard from Asajj is what Liberator's thinking, or maybe a 3 bank. I'm right there with you. She's going to get in the fight, and she's just going to take it to him. You need to do the damage while Quick Draw is kind of out of it, and has to take a couple turns to get around you.
Well, I mean, yeah, her best punching power is range 1 to 2 because she's going to be able to stress something.
Oh, definitely.
If she gets that mobile arc.
She wants to get
going
right up
fast is a great idea, and she has
There's
the rock
3
set
bank.
up.
Called it, Liberator. Good job.
Nice call. You got the rock set up for this very thing. I mean, all she has to do is literally just keep three bank, 3 turn, 3 bank, 3 bank, you know, all around these rocks, and she could just play around those all day long, and Thweek can just be going in and out. I mean, there's a lot of versatility there.
Yeah, so we'll see if Darth Vader might have turned too hard. He might not even have a shot at Asajj.
This is a nice placement for Vermeil here.
This is good. Going to be able to jam. I don't believe we have any ISB slicers though, so it's not going to be able to take off both tokens.
Yeah.
And Rinehart gets to choose which one, which is more
target
valuable.
Lock.
Okay.
Target lock came off. So you got modded up. Focus and evade plus lots Razi, so if she pours a stress on,
makes sense. Just you're already in the lead. I mean, not necessarily points wise because you've got a ship off the board, but because Quick Draw is so fragile at this point, you can kind of end him whenever you're ready. So whenever you get that shot, just to go in there and finish the job.
Don't sleep on him too much though, because if he gets around
you can't
behind,
forget about him.
He can start doing some stuff, or just get in there. You know, on the enemy ships, so that when he blows up, it's gonna hit them too. So use him if you can use Quick Draw as a time bomb right now, it gets them hurt, get some damage put on, plus explode by your enemies. That'll be helpful.
Yeah, that's something I was gonna point out later if we had some kind of dead time, is that Quick Draw could use that as, like you're saying, that time bomb ability to just swing around. Alright, you've forgotten about Quick Draw, and now it's right next to you all of a sudden, and it wants to die. So, or it's going to be hitting you really hard, so you kind of get in that situation where, what do I do with it? So we got Paul thinking, trying to figure out what he wants to do with Darth Vader here.
And he's got a great setup. If you look at this here, he's got Vader, range 2 here. We got Major Vendor. I mean, you got 3 dice coming at Asajj both times. It's just now that she's tokened up, you know, we'll see if we can get some damage through. No glitter stem to pop.
Yeah, he's just thinking positioning wise. If he wants to roll, maybe get out of Thweek's arc and just focus on Asajj right now. Just try to do some damage.
He said he's thinking about maybe rolling a lock. You need the lock for sure. That lock's going to happen.
Yeah, and Asajj's ability is only in the auxiliary or the mobile arc. Is that correct, or is it primary as well?
He's going focus lock.
Okay.
He's going focus lock.
So now we got to see who's going to get the stress. You could turn off Vermeil's ailerons, really limit that dial.
Yeah.
Or you could shut Vader down a little bit. Vader's greens aren't the best either.
Yeah, and no engine upgrade to help in that area as well. So that would make it tricky. I'm thinking just keep Vermeil down a little bit, keep those ailerons off, so you can't do anything fancy. But he goes for Vader. Still a good choice. Yep.
Yeah, either way you want to go with that, I don't think you're wrong. Both sets of actions on both of those ships are kind of nasty to deal with.
Well, and Reinhardt's thinking a turn ahead here. If she goes fast,
Mm-hmm.
you got Vader can't do a sloop this next turn, so he's going to be having to turn
We
some
have
other way.
one hit,
so.
one crit, and a canceled focus for a definite
Okay.
shield. So
Yep.
one shield is going to be all that Vader does. Vader not packing a lot of heat right now.
Well, she's tokened up. It makes it tricky too. But you know, if you get a shield off, it's something. You got to whittle that thing down.
And Thweek,
All right, Thweek coming in.
measuring it
Yep.
out. On
Hit crit.
Vermeil.
Has a target lock.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna suspend it. It would make sense because Thweek does have FCS. Yep. So if you have fire control system, it's a no-brainer. You spend that target lock.
Some pretty good greens throughout this game.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had the one harpoon missile hit hard, but other than that, everything else has been pretty docile, just tampered down by those greens. Not a lot of big damage coming through. If it wasn't for Krennic, Vader might not be doing any.
True. True.
Alright, and Vermeil.
Okay. And Vermeil gets to change those dice rolls as well with his ability, which is nice. So we got 2 crits and a hit coming. Oh, there we go.
Using that focus.
Yep, using the focus up. One more shield comes off here.
Yeah, so Asajj down to 1 final shield, and Krennic is not really going to be doing a whole lot after these final 2 shields come off. It's a costly investment. A lot of people really like it, and it is really strong. But once those shields are gone, it's basically fire control system. So,
yeah, but it's not even for himself though. It's fire control for Vermeil.
Well, this is true. So it does, I guess, boost his ship as long as they stay in range of each other. But that is sometimes not the easiest thing to do when you have
we got a crit
ships with
crit
different
coming
tiles.
through.
Major explosion, and he rolls a hit. So a second crit coming. Weapons failure. Yikes.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see. And Vermeil hasn't had the chance to do much about it. Yikes.
Yeah, let's see. Major weapons failure.
Yeah,
you
so
get
going to be down to 2 dice. That's it's flippable next round, but you got to clear no stress actually. So, but it's going to keep you from jamming, and you want to always be jamming if you can. And I almost expect Thweek to break off on this round and kind of sandwich in with Ventress and Thweek, finish off quick draw. While Darth Vader and Vermeil try to figure out what their game plan needs to be here. Because they kind of went in for that dive bomb, give quick draw some cover, but that's kind of over at this point. So what's the plan now? I'm sure Paul's thought that part through, but I can't see it myself. You can't really flip everybody back around because Darth Vader's stressed. Vader could try going after Thweek. The good part about Vader's positioning too, and having left him there from the instead of barrel rolling, which Paul had been thinking about, is that it's going to block Asajj from going really fast and trying to get in on quick draw to finish that off this round. So you're not really going to do a 3 bank here. A lot of the moves are actually going to be bumping for Asajj.
Yeah, if she wants to go hard to clear that stress. Do you see the Reaper going to the right, kind of turn back around, or do you see the Reaper trying to go through the rocks? They can get through the rocks, especially with those ailerons. What are you seeing from that?
Well, Asajj will be moved from her current position, so you could aileron forward and get a sloop in there, or even aileron a bank and then sloop to offset, so you end up basically turned exactly where you are, just kind of up or down the map, wherever you choose to go. So I wouldn't be sad to see either one of those options take place. The biggest thing is where you're going to do with quick draw, because I kind of see Thweek going nice and slow, so it can make use of that barrel roll and just figure out wherever quick draw is going to be and finish that off. So I kind of expect Thweek to go a little bit straight and then use that barrel roll to kind of spin around and get a good shot on quick draw. Quick draw doesn't have a lot of options here.
Well, if I'm quick draw, I'm thinking probably about going fast.
Go
just
fast, and that way, hey, if Thweek, you want to blow me up, one, I'm going to get simultaneous
hopefully
fire,
I'm closer to you.
and you're going to take an explosion damage from when I blow up. So
yeah, yeah,
my
that would be the goal there. If you can
shields
get
might
some
be
damage
gone,
on
but
Thweek.
I still bite.
Okay, we got dials down now. We'll start with Saj, I believe, right? Saj gets to go
Saj
first.
is at a 6. And a hard right 3, so we're going to see a bump here.
Yep. Keeps her
Not
close.
a lot of options for not bumping, but it does bring your arc kind of wide around instead of doing maybe a tighter turn. It gives you just a little more arc movement because your ship's able to get up and around the board.
And if Paul called this right and can get his jam off onto Saj, she will have a hard time. She'll have to clear that jam before she can push the limit, which could make her really susceptible to damage this next turn after this turn, if he can get that jam in there.
Yeah, and he's got to think about what he's doing with his ailerons right now. And you're right, you don't have to flip that weapons disabled if you're not going to have a shot or even maybe a great shot. You might even just go for the jam here just to soften the Saj up.
Yep, here's this turn to the right, and
we're slooping.
A sloop. There we go, getting the shot on, keeping shooting.
Might
Gotta
be
keep
out
fire
of
on.
range too, but I can't tell. We'll have to wait for the ranges to go up.
It'd be rough if he gets a double stress here.
Quick draw coming in actually pretty hard on both targets, no matter where they went.
And wherever Vader goes should be plenty fine to not get damaged by that harpoon if it does go off.
Oh yeah, definitely. Nobody's really going to have to worry about that harpoon except maybe Thweek, depending on where he ends up going. But
okay, here we go. Let's find out. He did slow roll, like I mentioned.
Gotta do the barrel roll here, unless you want to face that rock in the following turn. No advanced sensors here, so.
And no target
gotta
lock.
Do the barrel roll now.
No target lock on somebody that he can actually shoot this round. So it's going to be a little light on that end.
Yeah, so kind of hampered offense from Rinehart this round. That might be what Paul needs to get in the fight here. If you can get some good damage in on a Saj, you might be all right. Or if Thweek goes the wrong way and Vader judged it right, he might be able to barrel roll up and get a good shot there as well.
Yeah, I think the goal here is if you can get a Saj off and still have 2 ships left, you can try to get a way to kind of barricade Thweek a little bit, so he can't dodge everybody's arc. So hopefully that's what he's thinking as far as his plan goes.
Yeah, the hard part here is Vader doesn't
in the
have
end
a great way to try to focus up on a Saj with everybody else. I can't think of any maneuvers that are really going to give him even a chance of a shot on a Saj. So hopefully he's going to be able to get after Thweek. Otherwise, just token up and weather the storm if it comes at you.
Okay, we got a nice unobstructed shot here from Thweek onto quick draw.
Alright, cleared the stress.
Hey, Vader, yep.
Could barrel roll and get a shot on Thweek, but you put yourself at that probably range of the explosion if quick draw ends up going down.
True. Yep. He may be able to get out of that that arc though.
He's rolling
with a barrel roll.
And then target locking Thweek, it looks like. That's what he's calling anyway. He hasn't put the measurement down yet. There it is, so now he's got to do it. So Vader might take a shield here. Thweek in the end game is rough. Only a bit of a misunderstanding, major understanding. Alright. Yeah, Thweek is really punishing. If you don't know where she's going to be, and you never know where she's going to be, or he. I'm not sure. I haven't looked up where. What
We haven't
Thweek
got the
is.
gender on that one yet.
Always throws me off because every ship is a she until you find out who it actually is.
Yeah.
Especially with Ryan flying it. Yeah, I haven't seen too many Thweek players have a lot of problem making Thweek a threat. It's definitely somebody that's going to be tough to deal with, but if you can get Asajj out of the way fast enough, and maybe still have 2 ships to kind of mess around with Thweek, might be alright, as long as you can get some shots on.
I think 1v1 is going to be tough, but if you can get 2 versus Thweek, I think you got a good shot at it. Alright, let's see what happens here. We got dice rolling.
Alright, adding the crit, so a hit crit, and
we've
spent
stripped the
die on
shield already. So
and
Thweek is
no
shieldless.
focus token, so he'll be taking a crit.
Oh man, that could be rough.
That might
Let's find out what it
shaken
is.
pilot. Okay, so not the worst thing. We can definitely manage.
And shaken pilot for our viewers that
So
you know about that?
Shaken.
It's Racer Boy, yep, especially with Ryan flying it. He demonstrated that in that semifinal match.
Yeah, can't be assigned straight maneuvers. So Thweek's probably not intending to do. Well, actually, a straight maneuver would have been nice to get around that rock a little bit easier, because then you can just go straight, barrel roll for your turn. So that might allow Quick Draw to get out of there if it survives anyway.
Racer Boy was saying, especially with Ryan flying it, and as I was mentioning, last in the semifinal match, he flew the snot out of Thweek.
And here's the attack.
That was crazy.
But all blanks. Well, you had a strong chance. All blanks on the defense dice for Quick Draw. Vader actually escapes without taking the shield from the explosion. Man, Quick Draw had a chance to live. Not a lot of offense coming in, no mods or anything, but just couldn't do it, couldn't roll it. Paul not sacrificing enough young goats to the dice gods before this game started.
For that one.
Oh, a lot of greens turning out to be blank.
There we go.
Vermeil weapons hampered, but they all go through.
Well, he spent the stress to get the from lots to evade 1, so he only takes a hit.
Yeah, which is not bad since you weren't able to flip the weapons failure. You just hey, I'll roll 2 dice. That's fine. Hey, hits, great.
So this game is not over by any stretch.
No, Asajj is starting to hurt. So if Vermeil can help finish off everything, I don't know. It looks like he's lining up for Vader. It is range 1, but you've got no mods.
You got to take the range 1.
Vermeil's pretty hurt right now.
Yeah, it's just a matter of you got 3 dice versus 2 dice. Plus you get an extra red.
On Vader, and there's not a lot coming. Just one crit, and there's the evade.
Vader escapes.
And that's why I was saying, I mean, you might just go for the wounded duck. I mean, Vermeil doesn't have but the one lonely green die with no token to back it up.
Well, 2 with lightweight.
Yeah, true enough.
Alright, so we got dials coming here, round 6. What are you seeing from the scum side? Let's start with the scum side.
Scum side, Asajj is pretty comfortable to kind of keep on track here. She can bank down with Vader, or she can fly straight, try to maybe get a little bit range away from everybody else. Vermeil's not going to be having the aileron, so it's not going to go too fast to chase you down if you want to try to get Asajj out of there and try to get her around the rocks, and just try to do that circular approach around the map. Thweek can't be assigned a straight maneuver this round, so because I was kind of thinking maybe a 2 straight, 1 straight, and then a curved barrel roll would suffice to get your arc turn, but it might not be the case here because he's going to have to bank.
Do you try a sloop with Weak? I mean, it kind of could be a little bit unexpected if you maybe slow roll with Asajj and then do a sloop with Weak. I mean, it keeps your mods down.
You could, and without Vermeil having the ailerons up, that might be a good way to go. You'd be pretty safe. Vader doesn't have a way to boost around, so unless Vader K-turns, he won't have a shot. So actually a sloop would probably be pretty safe.
I mean, if you slow roll with Asajj, you're getting a shot most likely on Vermeil to try and finish that off or get it close. How about the Imperial side, though? We got those things that we're thinking about. I'm sure those players are thinking about the same moves, or maybe even some different ones that we're not seeing. What are you thinking about as far as Imperial?
Well, if you want to keep Vader in the fight, he's got to be doing a K-turn, which is a really hard thing, especially if Asajj is still in range and then double stresses you. That gets really dangerous. Vader needs those actions. I mean, it's his ability to compound them and get double actions in a turn. So when you stress yourself, you're not just losing the one action, you're losing both. And if you get double stressed, you don't have any way to take that off. There's no inspiring recruit here. No Yor to back you up. You got to be careful with that.
I definitely could see that. I feel like the K-turn is the best way to keep him at least getting a shot, and if he does happen to catch the Weak, you know, you've got the target lock already on him, so it gives you a little bit of a modification. I'm just thinking it opens you up better for another turn, but at the same time, if he just cruises down, maybe even Vermeil breaks off left, and they just kind of come back together and try to do a little joust.
Stronger together, definitely. Round. Both of these ships, they want to be close. Vader wants to be giving target locks to Vermeil.
I don't know how if we've even gotten a target lock to Vermeil yet. So I've got to get that thing going to try to keep that.
They were close
together
there when they were first firing on Asajj, but they've been a bit split now. And dials are down. The nice part is that Asajj only does the stress in the mobile arc, and if Vader is in a... Well, I don't think a 4 straight is going to be enough, because to get out of range 2, you got to be a distance of 5 bases away. He might just barely be out of it. But...
That's a nice move right there. Really nuzzled up against that rock there. Chance to stress. Okay.
And Vermeil clearing
turning
it,
in.
and going to be ready to keep firing.
We see a jam coming, maybe? Jam or evade. He's thinking about it. Maybe an evade actually is not a bad move. I mean, she's focused up.
You need to keep both ships alive. I mean, Vader versus Thweeks one-on-one is going to be dangerous, but Vader has the health to try to put up with it for a little bit. So if you go in strong, that might not be a bad way to go. If I got jammed as Asajj, I think I'd take off the focus and keep the evade. You want to keep Asajj alive for right now. She's your stress dealer, and she's really scary to Vader.
Still thinking about his action there. Jam.
It is a tough choice.
He's gonna jam it.
All right.
He's gonna jam.
And he actually takes off the evade, so he's going for guns out. Finish off what he can, and I mean he's gonna have a range 1 shot on Vermeil, so it'll be 4 dice, and he's got 4 hull.
Well, it's not a bad call to since you get to choose as a person getting jammed to take off the evade. He's still got lots of Razi.
And there's Thweek with the sloop.
He's gonna stress probably Vermeil. I think he's in arc for that. So, if he can get that stress, then that'll help him stay alive as well.
Yeah. Now Vader does do the K-turn though. Yeah, and there it is. If he's still in range 2, which I think he's out. I think he got to range 3. We'll have to see. And he is trying. Oh, Vader. He does catch the corner.
He does.
So double stress on Vader. That's why I didn't really like the K-turn, but I understand the need to keep the guns going.
Oof.
You need to keep blasting. Got to do the damage before your ships start knocking off the table.
Yeah, and Paul says that'll be a problem next round for sure. So
yeah, that's going to be an issue because Vader doesn't have a lot of options to stay in the fight while stressed.
Now here's the thing: if Vader can get a shot off that's pretty hard hitting onto Saj, she may pull that. Not getting it.
And that's not gonna
Not
quite
getting
do
it.
it. And so, some evades just to
Oosh.
kind of make it
Yeah.
hurt a little bit more.
Okay. Thweek coming at Vermeil here. You take that shot on Vermeil. Yep. Dick
Yeah,
Vermeil.
you want to try to
Rinehart
take that
says-
thing down.
Rinehart says we're shooting Dick Vermeil right here. Target lock. Hit crit coming.
And all blanks.
All
Oof,
blanks.
these greens have just
Really failed.
either been on point and really mitigating a
Mhm.
lot of damage, or they completely abandon you.
Yeah.
And I know the feeling. I've flown enough Phantoms.
Mm-hmm. We got a range 1 shot here. 3 versus 2.
Gonna have to pull out a miracle here to take Asajj down. 5 health and 2
There's
dice
no
backed up by a
stress.
focus.
No stress to pull. So there's no lots Razi. You only have the focus.
Yeah, if
So
he was
there's
able
possibility
to...
of some damage.
I think the jam was the right call, but having your weapon still taken down by that critical
Mm-hmm.
does hurt. But Vermeil gets to change his results, so... Psh. Oh, no, he doesn't. He's got a focus token.
And I see what he's saying. He's got, okay, 1 hit.
Yeah.
1 hit coming. And it's a 3v2 because he's got that weapons failure.
Yeah, that's why Vermeil really likes to have some slicers aboard, but he had to go with the courier droid for it being 0 points. Sometimes you just can't find the points in the list. I mean, he's already shed so much off Quick Draw and Vader to get points out there for Vermeil.
2 hits coming from Asajj.
And a 0 on the green dice.
And that, I think, spells the end of Vermeil.
Man, I keep picking the wrong action. Yeah, it's...
That is tricky.
It gets tough to take the evade sometimes when you want to be pouring on the heat, but when it comes to keeping your ships alive, a ship on the table is better than, you know, maybe an extra damage that goes through.
But I mean, you see the challenge even the pros make, you know, at this game. I mean, and that's what's a good thing to do is keep putting, as a player, keep putting those hard decisions on your opponent, trying to make them, you know, have to pick, you know, like between 2 really good options. But sometimes that, you know, sometimes they're both great options.
Yeah.
But
so, here's a question for you. Vader's double stressed.
Yeah.
Do you keep him in the fight, or you try to get away? You could do a fast, maybe a 3 bank to the left, and just try to get away for right now. Because if you try to do a green and stay in the fight, you're still stressed, so you've got no tokens, and now everybody's probably going to be range 1 of you.
Well, here's the problem: is the positioning right here. We've got dials going already. Vader's going to be getting shot at no matter what he tries to do. I feel like you got to clear the stress.
Hopefully we dialed in a bank, a green bank, and it'll hit Asajj, so that way she can't shoot you, and you're only dealing with Tweak.
But you're still going to get double stressed unless you can clear it.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the best option for this round, though, and then maybe next round you can get out of there.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough shot from Thweek, though, coming up here. Though I don't see the target lock on Thweek. Yeah. Gotta find a way to get unstressed, but I don't really see that option happening very well.
And
there's a 1 bank for the bump. Good call on the bump.
So clears off
guaranteed
A
that's
stress.
purpose.
Still gonna be, yeah, I'm pretty sure he was trying to bump Asajj on this, as well as keep his gun in the fight. I mean, you'll be double stressed still, but you're not
just
taking
out of range 1,
which is probably better for Vader in this situation.
Yeah.
And there's the added crit.
Crit.
Spends the blank on the 0 shields. I like it. That's a call I make a lot.
Yeah.
Just got to remind the opponent that, hey, I did pay for Krennic, just so you know.
That's right. Just so you remember, that is the benefit. 3 hits coming back.
Yikes. And there goes the green dice again.
Shields are gone. Yeah, it's like sometimes it feels like you roll those green dice and you get your evades when you're all tokened up, and
Yeah.
don't count on it if you're not token. That's for sure.
No, no, you can't count on the green dice.
So we still have a double stressed Vader. Any way you're getting out of this thing?
Well, first you go pray for a little bit of luck. I mean, that's kind of key, but Vader doesn't have a lot of options here, so your only greens are straights. I mean, you don't want to do a bank and collide with that rock. So you're kind of limited in what you can do. I guess probably a 3 bank is the fastest you can go if you want to be clearing your stress, which is only going to get you about where Thweek is. So
he really needs a reset, probably, though. I think at this point you really need a reset. He can get past if they want to try to bump and try to keep
you could
Vader
blow
there,
through with the white maneuver and just try to put the speed on. That's not a bad way to go. It's typically unexpected, and you don't really plan for it as the opponent. So maybe just a fast white move, maybe a 5 just to get some distance.
Now, if you're Rinehart here, and you go like a 1 straight, something like that, switch your marble arc to the left or to the backside. I think you can probably
it's the smartest way to put it, I think, on this round. But
get that stress back on.
Good players firing with the mobile arc want to be. He does go for the hard turn.
That is a nice
and
move right
threads
there.
Right through the rock. I don't know if I would have trusted myself with that maneuver, but
well, you see,
Rinehart's got the experience.
Reinhardt in the chat called it before he even did it. He said, "I'm tensing. I'm getting tense now."
He got awfully close to that rock, but I mean, he's still got a nice, comfortable distance, and now his dial's open for the next round.
And now he can relax a little bit. He made it.
Definitely.
All right,
definitely.
Vader clearing his stress
to clear
there.
one.
And I don't think he's going to get double stressed. I don't know. It's going to be close.
I think he's still in range 2 myself. And he barely catches the back.
Just in range 2.
That is rough.
Oh,
if you could have just gotten one turn of
up.
not getting that stress, might have been able to make something happen the next round.
It's impressive him flying this big base ship through those asteroids. No fear there. You know, 4-hole on your big girl, I guess you say.
A blinded pilot, which, hey, no shot anyway. So probably not going to have a shot next round either. Not the worst, but Vader's down to 1 hole, and that's probably the biggest thing that happened.
Yep. See if we can see a couple more rounds go here.
So
I mean, Asajj is set up perfect to just go.
Oh yeah, just keep spinning around
that rock.
Ring around the rosy for Asajj.
Whole dial's open.
Yeah, that's what she wants to do, and Thweek should be able to get a target this round with the barrel rolls.
Yeah, just churn hard in, move your barrel roll.
I think as Vader, you actually turn to the right and try your chances that way, just to get away from Asajj for right now. And hopefully Thweek kind of overcorrects.
Yeah.
That is the one benefit of Vader actually moving after Thweek and having the mind games at the start of the match. And Ventress with another 3 hard, so she's coming in hard. She wants to get this over with.
Yep.
The right call to make.
Yeah, you gotta keep. If you're in the lead as a new player or any player, if you're in the lead, you gotta keep the pressure on there. You don't want to play. You don't want to get. You don't
want to play too safe and let the other person get redialed in and back to where they want to be. You want to actually get just more ahead. That's something I learned from doing like a lot of StarCraft. Was something a streamer I watched said is, when you're ahead, just get more ahead. Always the right call to make.
Without making too many chances. You don't want to take unnecessary chances if you're in the lead there.
So doing that barrel roll, expecting Vader to just try to get distance, but I think if Vader turns to the right, might make it through this turn. I don't know about the next, but hey, at this point it's 1 turn at a time for Mr. Heaver.
And
no,
it
he
was
goes
a 1
for a
bank.
soft bank, trying to clear the stress.
Mm-hmm.
But now you're going to be taking all the shots, no tokens. This is probably going to do it. Vader yearns for death, Paul here says.
4v3.
No tokens to speak of, and there we go. Here comes the target lock. If he can get 2 hits.
A crit coming.
Yeah. So
2 hits and a crit, and
that's
is it. That's enough. Wow, what a game though. You know, 2 awesome players.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, at the same time, just great. You know, you see him in the chat. Everybody gets to see him in the chat there. You know, just quality sportsmen as well. So I like that. He said you took the Nidru bait.
Yeah.
You have to.
I mean, it's. I mean, what do? You let Nidru just get behind you and shoot anyway? I mean, it's a tough call to make.
Yeah.
That's one of the hard parts with that ship in particular being such a high pilot skill, backed up by VI.
Mm-hmm. Well, if I was to give my splat of the game here, I would give it to that engagement of Nadru. I mean, that was really one of the biggest turning points right at the beginning. That first round of engagement, getting that harpoon off, not only taking off the shields like you talked about, but taking off him all the way down to 1 hull. I mean, that was just crazy. Does anybody else have a moment of the game that they saw in chat that was something that you noticed as we were going through this thing that kind of, you know, swung it in one player's favor or the other?
Yeah,
that's the one that I'm calling.
I would say that Nadru is kind of built for that, though, with the target lock and glitter stim. I mean, you kind of expect to have 5 hits come through, you know? It's one of those things where that's the point. That's what you're spending 24 points on, is 1 attack, and it's gonna be nasty. So, I mean, barring some horrific luck with your dice, I mean, it should be just fine. So, it's a good way to go, and I think cutting Quick Draw out of the fight there was probably what turned it.
Yeah, we see that Liberator said Paul did not pray to the green dice gods.
Liberator said he beat this list when he went after Thweek first, and actually tried to gun after the hard to catch guy. It's not a bad way to go. You've got more arcs, more ships shooting. You should be able to burn down Thweek and catch him in unarc or 2.
Yeah, and he's saying it's over when you go after Nadru first.
Yeah.
So that is interesting. Yeah.
Which, I mean, it's hard not to. You've got to turn away and then fly fast to get away from Nadru. I mean, it's not the fastest ship, being just a Z95, but when it lines up to joust with you, you just got to keep pedal to the metal and get away from it.
Yeah, Racer Boy 108 saying Paul certainly did the best he could given the situation. I would agree with that. I would agree with the, you know, coming, you know, and he didn't lose his cool though either. You know, he didn't lose his edge, even taking that harpoon shot the way he did. He still flew those skillfully for sure, and tried to put as much damage and pressure on Asajj as he could, and almost took her down. I mean, she only had 4 hull left at the end of this thing. So I would definitely agree with what Racer Boy said. Once that double stress went on, though, and I know I liked the K-turn, but that, you know, that double stress really kind of, like you mentioned, you don't only lose 1 action, you're losing 2 actions because Vader gets those for free. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so that double stress was definitely a difficult thing. Yeah.
I think the motivation not to go after Thweek, like Liberator was saying, is that it feels hard to catch, kind of like Miranda, and so you could just kind of go, you know what, I'd just rather deal with that later when I have to. But I think what you're saying is right. Thweek is such a violent person once the fight gets going, because he gets to stay involved so much with that barrel roll. I think that probably is the right call, and the defensiveness of it as well kind of gets people on edge, having the auto thrusters, things like that. So it probably is the right call to make, though, Liberator. You're right. So
yeah, I'm definitely proud of both these players. You know, getting a chance
they're
to
great.
see them. And what's next here? So this is the final match.
This is the finals of Season 6 for the Vassal League. These guys are in the Deep Core, which is the most elite 10 players of the Vassal League in the current season, and they just kind of scrum amongst themselves, and so it's really hard to stay in there. Only the top, I believe, top 2 or top 4 do. So I mean, they've fought hard to stay where they are. So either way,
and then they have to battle. They drop down and they have to
Mhm.
battle back into there.
Yeah, you go back down to the core worlds, and you got to fight to get back in. So it's tough.
And first off, we haven't said it yet, but we need to say congratulations both to Paul as getting second place in this, but we need to give congratulations to Rinehart for winning this thing. Well done, and flying the same list throughout the playoffs. One of the things that's interesting in Vassal is you can actually take your list and you can change it for every matchup. So I mean, some
Yeah.
people take a list and they'll tailor it to the opponent they're facing.
Mhm.
They may look at list juggler and be able to adjust and see what their opponents have been flying and maybe make something that they think could kind of counter that. So it's got a lot of play involved with what you're going to bring to the table.
Yeah. Yeah, I
And
really
how
enjoy the Vassal League. I've been involved with it for 4 seasons now, and it's been really fun. I've documented all my matches on my Course to the Core series, where I started in the unknown regions, because I don't get to play a lot of tournaments in real life, I guess, on a real tabletop. So it's nice for players that maybe work odd hours or odd shifts like I do, to just kind of see kind of where you measure up a little bit online anyway. I know that that's the draw for me, is that it allows me to be a bit competitive instead of just playing friends or down just a casual match at a local game shop, because I can't hit the tournaments. So it's really good for that, and like you said, it just gets you involved, you get to play different lists, you get to throw different tweaks in, you get to kind of see and analyze what other people are doing, and make some judgment calls there. I really encourage a lot of people to try out the Vassal League. Some people get intimidated by the interface, but I would say give it a shot. It's been actually streamlined a lot, and a lot of things actually are made so much easier than on the table. Collisions auto-resolve, that's a big one right there. You don't have to worry about bumping ships around on the table. It's a great design. Muon is the person behind the wheel here, and he's done a great job making this into a system that is just really, really good. I mean, yes, the scale
and it gets
is
better
smaller.
all the time.
He's constantly putting out updates. He's working on 2.0 right now, trying to be ready for when that drops. And so when Season 7 comes, we'll be in 2nd edition, and it'll be a learning curve for everybody. It'll be new and exciting, and everybody, I think, will be competitive, no matter if you're just getting into X-Wing or not, because there's a lot of things veteran players are going to have to unlearn before they can actually learn how the new system works. A lot of
Especially if
podcasters
you've
are
been
talking
playing
about that right now.
turrets for a long time.
Yeah,
you gotta
so
adjust and switch that up for sure. Now I just dropped in the chat there. If you're interested in doing Vassal, or there's a link there to give you some information of how the Vassal League works, so you can sign up for the next season. But we do want to give a shout out to Earthworm and to all those guys that run it, and we're looking forward to doing this more. We want to definitely get a chance to to cast more of these games that are played not on live tables, but even over Vassal. So definitely hoping you've enjoyed the cast here today. One more here, a shout out from Racer Boy 108 said, Ryan's list has literally wrecked me every time I played against it. He knows how to fly it super well. So we're Racer Boy, we are seeing that firsthand here with these.
You can
with
tell
these
he's
last two
practiced
matches,
this. It takes a lot of time to learn how to fly these ships and be confident enough to set that dial to, you know what, she can make it between those rocks. You know what, we can get this shot over here, and put that on the table. So I mean, it takes confidence, which is only by a lot of practice. So you can really tell that he's put some work into this one, and I really like it. So hopefully he'll be able to make something that is on par with this, with the 2nd edition ships when they come out. So I appreciate everybody coming and watching the finals of the Vassal League Season 6. thank you, Jeremy, for helping me stream the semifinals
You're
and the
welcome.
finals of this. Yeah, I've really enjoyed doing the commentating, and so I'm hoping that maybe this will be a little bit more of an official capacity next season. I'm kind of just doing it on my own, and the league has been nice enough to allow me to do so. So if you kind of like what you're seeing, I commentate my own games live as things go, as I'm playing. So go and hit that follow, and we will catch you guys then.
Yeah, have a great day, everybody. We'll see you later.